Guys, welcome back. Welcome back for this next episode. This next episode is going to be about Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Can it happen? And will it actually happen? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it through an article that was posted about a month ago. The potential of a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 happening. It's looking higher than ever right now. So I don't know about you guys, but we are long overdue for a new MVC entry. It is very exciting. It is a very exciting time to be a fan for the Marvel vs. Capcom right now. After years of silence, tricky licensing issues, and a seemingly risky, shaky relationship between Marvel and Capcom that painted a hopeless picture for the franchise, Marvel is back with the upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. The masses were convinced for a long time, such as myself, that Marvel vs. Capcom wouldn't be coming back in an official capacity, but against all odds, the company have come together once again, not only to collaborate, but to revive 7 classic titles that have been absent from modern platforms for ages. Thus, on top of the several other factors, clues, and words directly from the developers, both recent and from the past, are pointing to the chances of a new MVC game, or MVC4, as many may refer to it. It's actually might be happening higher than ever now. The Marvel vs. Capcom and the Versus series are a whole are beloved among the fans and competitors in the fighting game community. Even without the active modern game market in today, players everywhere have kept these titles alive through numerous means and finding better ways to play past games online against one another, adding games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate and Marvel Infinite via PC mods, and with the small resurgence of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 EX, where they added more characters. So cool. You guys gotta check it out. You guys just have to just check it out. Continuing to create content that only delves into the specifics of these games, but also the landscape around them and the likelihood of a new one being made might be. As far as the main entries in the series goes, the last time we saw a new Marvel vs. Capcom game was back in September 2017 with the release of Marvel Infinite. Unfortunately, fans didn't consider this particular entry to be a true Marvel game for a variety of reasons, including its poor visual design, lack of major staples in the roster due to licensing conflicts with X-Men and Fantastic Four characters, and its 2v2 combat format that stemmed away from the traditional 3v3 assets formula that people know and love. This means that the last real solid entry in the franchise that people took very seriously, competitively, and so actively play is Marvel 3 back in 2011. Needless to say, we are probably overdue for a legitimate new title in the franchise by this point. Fortunately, things have been finally looking up on that front, and that you don't have to look far to see the signs. For starters, as previously mentioned, the release of the upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, which contains all 7 of the games, and The Punisher, which is a shocker, is pretty clear indicator that Marvel vs. Capcom are at the very least willing to work together again and see the value of the franchise holds a lot of value. That alone got fans thinking that a new game in this series might be in the works, but also there's more to it than that. Additionally, the developers behind Street Fighter 6 have also recently shared some more insight into the Capcom's latest crossovers with Marvel and SNK, and not only expressed their heavy desire to make new collaborative games with these companies, but have also explained seeing brand new entries with the Marvel vs. Capcom and the Capcom vs. SNK will be determined by the fan interest in the upcoming products such as the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. With the new compilation featuring 7 classic titles on the way, Capcom's developers expressing big interest in making new crossover games, Marvel being fully on board with Capcom to make the compilation. The recent developer comments sounding similar to what we saw back in the day before a big game announcement. It's feeling like the chances of a brand new Marvel vs. Capcom are better than they have been previously, potentially ever in history. So that being said, we'll just have to wait and see how things unfold. But for the first time in a very long time, it's okay for the Marvel vs. Capcom fans to have some hope. So, you know what I mean? Like, you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection has already broke sales. The game's not even out yet. The game has broke pre-order sales. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but the game financially went beyond Marvel vs. The game sales, the collection sales went beyond Marvel and Capcom's expectations. So what does that tell you guys? You know what I mean? What does that tell you guys? That tells you guys that the fans have been hungry have been hungry for a new Marvel vs. Capcom entry for years. But not only have they been hungry to see a new Marvel vs. Capcom entry for years, they have been requesting for many plus years to see a Marvel vs. Capcom collection to grace modern day consoles and PC, Steam. You know what I mean? So this definitely shows Capcom and Marvel that, hey, the fans are interested. They're willing to give their left leg. Okay, they're willing to give their left leg just to see not only a Marvel vs. Capcom collection come to life, but also a new entry in the series. Okay, we all know what happened with the debacle of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and we all got excited. And some of you may consider Marvel Infinite to be the sequel, to be the main entry sequel to the Marvel vs. Capcom series. In case you guys didn't know, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was actually considered a reboot of the franchise. So Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite isn't technically a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. It was a completely redone, completely rebooted the franchise, and we know how that went. I can go on and on what happened with the failure of Marvel Infinite. Again, that's another discussion that I'll save in the distant future. So, do I think a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is evident? I think so. Pretty evident. I think so, because the fans are already shelling out money. Okay, they're already placing their wallets on it. They're already speaking with their wallets and placing, you know what I mean, and placing their funds and pre-ordering this game. They finally announced the release date for the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. There's going to be two different release dates. The first release date is going to be releasing worldwide digitally. That's going to be coming out next month on September 12th. And the following, that'll be for the digital version. And then the next version, which will be the physical version, that's going to be on November 22nd. So that'll be the November 22nd release is going to be the physical release of the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I'm not in a rush to get the digital collection. I can wait patiently for it. So I'm gonna patiently wait for the physical collection. So, but this is looking pretty evident of a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 happening at some point in the future, guys. I want to build my own roster, like my own wish list of a Marvel vs. Capcom roster of the characters that I want to see. I know ever since the announcement of this, people have been building their own rosters and sharing it all over online on Facebook. So I want to build my own Marvel vs. Capcom roster and share it with you guys. But a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is definitely looking highly evident. The numbers, the sales, the sales is already showing that it's going to be exceeding Capcom and Marvel's expectations that, hey, we want to see a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. But the chances of seeing a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 on the flip side, again, I don't see that happening for another maybe 7 years. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. I see it coming out shortly after a Capcom versus SNK 3. That's my prediction. It won't be happening for a long time. That's just simply because. So it could come out less. It could come out less than 7 years. We don't know. So, but what do you guys think of the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, Marvel vs. Capcom 4? What characters do you guys want to see? What characters are you guys looking to see that have never made an appearance ever in a Marvel vs. Capcom game that you're looking to see, expect them to see in the MVC Infinite? In MVC 4, sorry. All right, guys, let me know in the comments. Be back for next week's episode. Take care.